What if I told you that the single greatest obstacle between you and a life of calm, clarity, and control isn't your boss, your finances, or the state of the world, but a single untrained thought? Think about it for a moment. That low-humming anxiety you feel when you wake up, that flash of anger in traffic, that wave of despair when things don't go your way. We've all been there. We feel like we're passengers in our own lives, tossed around by the waves of external events, reacting instead of responding.
But what if there was another way? What if you could develop a kind of mental armor, an inner citadel that protects your peace from the chaos outside? This isn't a modern self-help trick. It's a timeless, battle-tested philosophy from ancient Greece and Rome, practiced by emperors, slaves, and everyone in between. It's called Stoicism. And in this video, we aren't just going to talk about it, we are going to walk the path together. We will dismantle the mental habits that keep you stuck and replace them with a powerful framework for thinking clearly, acting calmly, and staying in absolute control of your inner world, regardless of the storms raging outside. Your journey to an unconquerable mind begins right now. So where do we begin this journey to build our inner citadel? It starts not with a complicated set of rules, but with one radical, life-altering idea. The Stoics called it the dichotomy of control. It's the simple yet profound understanding that some things in life are within our control and some things are not. What can you control? Your thoughts, your judgments, your choices, your actions, your character. That's it. That's the entire list. And what can't you control? Well, almost everything else. You can't control the weather, the economy, what other people think of you, your health in the long run, or whether you get stuck in traffic. You can influence these things, but you cannot ultimately control them. Now, this might sound simple, almost insultingly so, but think about how much of our suffering, our anxiety, and our frustration comes from a fundamental misunderstanding of this principle. We waste so much precious energy trying to command the things we can't control, while completely neglecting the one domain where we have absolute sovereignty, our own mind. Imagine a ship captain in a hurricane. A foolish captain would scream at the wind and curse the waves. He would try to command the storm to stop. But a wise captain accepts the reality of the storm. He knows he cannot control the hurricane, but he can control the ship's rudder, the angle of the sails, and the morale of his crew. His focus is entirely on his responses. The storm is what it is. How he navigates it is everything. This is the essence of Stoicism. It's about shifting your focus from the storm to the rudder. This isn't about being passive or giving up. It's the exact opposite. It's about strategic action. It's about conserving your energy for the battles you can actually win, the battles within yourself. True power, the Stoics teach, isn't the ability to bend the world to your will. It's the ability to keep your own mind tranquil and rational, no matter what the world throws at you. And we have incredible proof that this works. This isn't just theory. It has been pressure tested in the most extreme circumstances imaginable. Let's look at the man who was arguably the most powerful person in the world, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. For nearly 2 decades, he ruled over an empire besieged by war, plagued by pandemic, and rife with political betrayal. He buried several of his own children. By all accounts, his life was one of immense stress. Yet every morning, in the pre-dawn cold of his military tent, he would write to himself. We now know these writings as his meditations. And what did he write? He wasn't crafting battle plans or political strategies. He was reminding himself of these core Stoic principles. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He constantly practiced separating what was happening to him from his judgment about what was happening. A military defeat wasn't inherently bad. It was a defeat.
His interpretation of it as a catastrophe was the source of his suffering. By focusing on his own judgment, he could maintain his calm, make clear-headed decisions, and lead effectively, even in the heart of chaos. He wasn't born a saint or a sage. He was a man who trained his mind day in and day out. Then there's Seneca, a brilliant advisor to the infamous Emperor Nero. Seneca was one of the wealthiest men in Rome, but he lived through constant political intrigue and eventually was ordered by Nero to take his own life. In his letters, he provides a practical playbook for dealing with life's greatest challenges. On anger, he famously advised, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." Instead of reacting with immediate rage when provoked, he taught us to pause, to take a breath, and to let the initial irrational impulse pass. In that space, we can choose a rational response. When his own death sentence came, historical accounts tell us he faced it with remarkable calm and dignity, comforting his grieving family. He couldn't control the paranoid emperor, but he could control the grace and courage with which he met his end. Let's bring this into our world. Imagine a young professional. Let's call her Sarah. She poured her heart and soul into a project for months, only for it to be canceled by upper management due to budget cuts. The reactive response is easy to picture: anger, resentment towards her bosses, despair, and a feeling of "why do I even bother?" She spends weeks complaining, her motivation plummets, and her work suffers. She is trying to control the uncontrollable, the decisions of her company. Now, how would a Stoic Sarah approach this? She would first allow herself to feel the disappointment. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotion, but about not being ruled by it. She would acknowledge the sting of the setback, but then she would apply the dichotomy of control. What was in her control? The effort she put in, the skills she learned, the relationships she built with her team. What was not in her control? The company's financial strategy. She would then reframe the event. This isn't a disaster, it's an unexpected outcome. She would ask herself, what can I learn from this? Perhaps she learned how to manage a complex project or how to lead a team. The project is gone, but the growth is hers forever. This setback becomes not a roadblock, but a training ground for resilience. She focuses on her next project with renewed vigor, strengthened by the experience. That is the Stoic mind in action. So how do we begin to build this mind? The Stoics left us a set of powerful mental exercises, tools we can use daily to forge our inner citadel. Let's explore a few of the most practical ones. The first, and perhaps most misunderstood, is called premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. It sounds grim, but it's actually a powerful tool for creating resilience and gratitude. Here's how it works. Every morning, spend just a few minutes thinking about the things that could go wrong during the day. You might miss your train. A client might get angry. You could lose your wallet. The point is not to create anxiety, but to do the opposite. By calmly rehearsing potential difficulties in your mind, you strip them of their power to shock and overwhelm you. You can think, if the client is upset, I will listen calmly and not take it personally. You are mentally preparing, just as a firefighter prepares for a fire. And a powerful side effect happens. You start to feel immense gratitude for when things go right. The fact that you didn't miss your train becomes a small moment of joy, not just a neutral event. You stop taking the good in your life for granted. It's about appreciating what you have right now. As Seneca said, "He is a great man who uses earthenware dishes as if they were silver, but he is equally great who uses silver as if it were earthenware." By mentally rehearsing loss, you come to hold your possessions, your relationships, and your health with a light, appreciative touch, not a desperate, fearful grasp. Our second tool is what I like to call the view from above. This is a powerful meditation for shrinking your problems down to their proper size.
When you feel overwhelmed by a problem, an argument, a looming deadline, a financial worry, I want you to try this. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself floating up out of your chair. See the room you're in. Then float higher. See your building, your neighborhood, your city as a patchwork of lights. Go higher still, until you see the shape of your country, the continents, the beautiful blue marble of Earth hanging in the blackness of space. Float further out, past the moon, past Mars, seeing our entire solar system turning silently. Now, from this vast cosmic perspective, think about that problem that was causing you so much stress. Where is it? In the grand scheme of this immense, silent cosmos, how big is that argument or that worry? It's still there, but its emotional weight, its power to dominate your mind, has vanished. This exercise doesn't solve the problem, but it gives you the perspective and calm needed to approach it rationally and effectively. You stop seeing it as an all-consuming monster and start seeing it for what it is, a small, manageable event in the grand tapestry of your life. The third essential tool is Stoic journaling. This is not a Dear Diary where you simply vent your emotions. This is a rigorous, honest self-examination designed for growth. At the end of each day, take 10 minutes to answer a few simple questions. The philosopher Epictetus suggested we ask ourselves, what did I do wrong today? What did I do right? What duty was left undone? You can adapt this for yourself. Ask, where did I let my peace be disturbed by something outside my control? When did I act according to my values, with courage and kindness? Where did I fall short? This isn't about judging yourself harshly. It's about being an objective observer of your own behavior. It's a tool for self-awareness and continuous improvement. By reviewing your day, you begin to see patterns in your thinking and your reactions. You see where your triggers are, and with that awareness, you gain the power to change, one day at a time. Finally, we arrive at the peak of Stoic practice, the culmination of all these tools, amor fati, which is Latin for a love of fate. This is the most challenging and the most liberating idea in all of Stoicism. It's the practice of not just accepting what happens, but embracing it, loving it. It's the belief that everything that happens, both the good and the bad, is a necessary part of our path. Imagine a great fire. You can throw anything into a raging fire, a dry log, a wet branch, a piece of garbage. The fire doesn't complain, it doesn't distinguish. It takes whatever it is given and uses it as fuel to burn even hotter and brighter. The Stoic who practices amor fati strives to have a mind like this fire. A promotion at work? That's fuel. A sudden layoff? That's fuel too. An opportunity to learn resilience, to pivot, to grow stronger. A wonderful relationship? Fuel. A painful breakup? Fuel, a lesson in self-reliance and emotional strength. Nothing is purely bad because everything can be used. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity. Every setback is a lesson. You stop wishing for life to be easier and start focusing on becoming stronger. This is the mindset that turns victims into warriors. It's the ultimate expression of control, not by changing the world, but by transforming your relationship with it. This path isn't easy. It's not a quick fix or a magic pill. It is a lifelong practice. It's about training, not just trying. You will still feel anger. You will still feel sadness. You will still feel fear. The goal is not to become an emotionless robot. The goal is to become someone who is not a slave to those emotions. To feel them, acknowledge them, and then choose a wise and virtuous response. You have, within you, right now, the ability to build a fortress of the mind, an inner citadel that no external chaos can ever breach. You can learn to separate what you can control from what you can't. You can prepare for adversity, gain perspective on your problems, review your actions, and learn to love. Your fate. The tools are here. They have been passed down for over 2,000 years from the greatest minds in history. The only question left is, will you pick them up and begin to build?